And finally, question for Daniel Cormier. Dan, obviously the judges scored the fight 49-46. I think quite a few of us here on press row informally might have had it closer than that. A lot of us 48-47. Did you think the fight was closer than it was reflected on the scorecards?
Man, I actually have no idea what's going on inside of the cage. I usually ask my coaches, and I was aware that I was losing. I thought the first round he did well, and towards the end of the round I started kind of gaining a little momentum. I thought second round I fought pretty well. Third round I thought I started the round well and didn't finish the third round very well. Fourth round I took it off. He won that round going away. And in the fifth round, I think neither one of us did much at all. We just kind of hugged each other for 5 minutes. But that's what happens when you fight as hard as we did. So, he won the fight. I don't know how to judge a fight. So, I know I lost, and John won. That's pretty much all it boils down to. It doesn't matter if it's closer or if it's not. He won the fight.
Question for Daniel Cormier, back here to your right, all the way in the back. Okay. There you go. I know there's a lot of emotion going into this fight. Did any of that play into your approach and like the game plan? Obviously, it seems like you came out and got right in his face, but I mean, did the emotion kind of weigh in? I know some guys say, it can actually zap you if you let it, weigh on you too much.
No, it didn't. When you're fighting a guy like John that's so creative and so long, you have to get in his face. It was the only way that I was going to be able to fight him. I thought I found some good success in fighting, body punching, and I was landing some really good uppercuts on the inside. I said something leading into this fight. I was looking for the man to push me and put me into a war, and he did that. He did that. By the end of the first round, we both were bleeding, and it was like, what? This is what a championship fight should be. And you know what, man? The guy just he got better, and he won the fight. He's if anything surprised me is that he felt a little bigger in the cage than he looks normally. He's a big guy, strong, hangs on you, and when he starts to hang on you, it can zap you a little bit later in the fight. So. No emotions. I competed like I a professional. I didn't fight on emotion. I knew I was going to have to get in his face, and that's what I did.
The second round, you came out and you tagged him with some really hard shots. Obviously, I think that was your best round. It looked like you tagged him really hard with some uppercuts. It looked like you hurt him a couple of times. Maybe if you weren't holding his neck, he might have even staggered back a little bit more. What happened between that second and third round? Because the third round was very, very close and very even. How much credit do you give to John for being able to bounce back the way he did? Because it did seem like you had him in at least a little bit of trouble in that second round.
Well, he has a champion spirit, and he showed that. The third round, you kind of start to see momentum of a fight, and if the second round was my best round, it was because at the end of the first I started doing a little better. Third round, he was able to actually. I thought it was going to snowball, but then he took the momentum back, and then once he took the momentum back, it was difficult to switch it again because he's a champion, and the one thing I thought he did a better job of tonight was as he was backing up, he was actually countering. That's something he had never done before. So even after so many title defenses, you start to see little wrinkles in his game, and I thought that was the key. He did a good job of actually landing punches as I was pressuring him. I didn't expect that.
Daniel Cormier, as tough as it may be, please describe this moment in your life.
It's very difficult. I've worked so hard to try and become a champion at the highest levels for a really long time, and it hasn't really worked out for me. This one's tough. I truly believe that I can get the job done. I thought I could get the job done, and as we were fighting, it still felt pretty good. And then I can't say enough about his mentality inside of that octagon. I've shared that cage with some very, very strong men and some very big men. superheroes, and I can't say enough about his grit and his determination, because I pushed him, and I went after him, and I fought him, and he did a great job, but difficult. But man, I've had to rebuild myself a number of times, like people can't even imagine, and this is no different. This is not gonna ruin me, the one way or the other. I'm gonna stand across the cage from that man again, and I'll believe just as I did tonight, and I'll take the fight to him again, I guess.
Thank you for being so candid. And last, how do you feel? Physically, how do you feel? It looked a little difficult for you to sit down.
I'm all right. I've got a knot on my leg. That's why I was walking a little slow, but I'm fine. He got me with a good shot in the body in the first round that made it difficult. And John and his coaches did a great job of coming up with a game plan. Early in the fight, he was hitting me with left hooks or right hooks to the body. And as the fight progressed, he started throwing them a little straighter, and that knee actually. That knee really did take a lot out of me early, I guess, but I feel fine. I'll take some time and spend some time with my children and my family, and then I'll come back.
And Dan, if I could just ask you, everybody was talking to you about the difficulty of getting past John's kicks and being able to get inside. Had you known you would have been inside so much of the fight, could you have understood this outcome coming this way if you had known that you would have spent so much of the fight clinched up with him and close to him?
That was my intent, was to be close. It was. I think we make a lot of. We talk a lot about reach and stuff, and even on the outside, we were kind of trading jabs and stuff. So it wasn't as big a deal. I think it's more his tactics and everything. He has a way of making himself feel actually bigger inside of the cage. It's not his height or anything. It's his abilities that makes him hard to deal with, but. It was my intent to get close, so I prepared for it. If anything, I didn't feel like he was going to be able to wear on me as he did, and that's what he did his most success, I guess.
John.